Well, kind of made an impulse buy today and bought my first quad. I've had a couple dirt bikes in the past, but this is my first quad. Saw it on Facebook Marketplace and went and checked it out. Had a lot more stuff wrong with it than the guy told me before I got there, but I used that to my advantage, I hope. I got a pretty decent price on it. It's a Honda 400EX, as you can see. You can see there's some problems here already, but I'm going to take it out of the truck and I'll do a quick walkthrough of all the things wrong with it. Alright, nobody's around to help me, so I'm going to see how my trash cans work for removing my quad from the truck. Well, no one was around to help me unload, so I thought I'd try using 2 trash cans as ramps, and it actually worked pretty well. Hopefully I won't have to ever try loading it up that way, because I don't think it'll work, but worked pretty decent. Thanks, trash cans. Alright, issues, things that are wrong with the 400EX. You can see right away the brake light's broken, but I have some spare ones from a trailer I might use. I might actually use that for a trailer I'm going to buy, but we'll see. I tested the wiring just now with that other light and it works great. Pigtails make it easy to connect and disconnect quickly. I looked inside the airbox. Something looks a little iffy in here. You can see someone's been living in here storing some nuts. And I don't think this is our actual filter. I could be wrong. I'm not familiar with these, but I'll see if this is an actual filter or not and replace it or add one. Wiring's a little iffy too. I don't know. This might be somewhat factory, but nothing too bad there. So we got the light, got an air filter. These nets were ripped and broken, so I got to replace those. Both sides are bad. And then this tie rod here, not only is it a little bent, but you can see there's a little bit of play. Where is it? There's a little bit of play right here. That shouldn't be there. See, it's wiggling around too much. So I got to replace that. I'll also oil the chain. And then before I bought it also, I noticed, well, at the guy's house, I noticed this axle seemed a little loose. And there would be like a gap here. But now, oh, there it goes. Okay. So this is loose. I got to tighten this wheel bolt, I guess. The wheel nut or the hub nut. And make sure that's tight before I do anything crazy on it. The plastics are a little, I don't know, past their prime, like a lot of bikes this age. I may do something like that and replace the plastics. Probably not, though. And then the lights were great, but they are, old style halogen. They look kind of yellowish, so I might upgrade those to some LEDs if I have some lying around. But that's pretty much it. So far, hopefully some easy stuff. Doesn't burn any oil. The oil's good. Of course, I checked the oil before I bought it, but it's a little low, a little dark, so I'll do an oil change, but it was nothing that I was afraid of. Color or level-wise or anything like that. So nothing too bad. We'll see how things progress, and we'll see what I can find online for cheap. All right, since it's free and I have everything I need, I started on the loose axle issue. This spacer's on here still. The bolts are in there backwards. I just put the spacer in there so you can see how bad it is. This quad came with spacers all around. I already took the wheel off using my impact gun, and this comes off, of course. And now you can see what I was talking about. So this part, I hope, is just fixed by tightening the nut on the end, but we'll see. I did oil the chain already. It was pretty dry, so that part's done at least. All right, now to tighten this. All right, got the cotter pin out of the nut, and it was literally like finger tight, like not even like this. It was like this. So hopefully tighten. I'll get my torque wrench here. Hopefully a little tighten will help with that. And we'll go from there. Hopefully an easy fix. All right, got her tightened up real nice. I looked it up. It looks like it was about 65 pound-feet of torque. I might have done a little over, a little too tight. Hopefully not too tight. But as you can see, no more wobble. It's tight up against it. Got the cotter pin back in the castle nut there. And ready to put the wheel back on. Before I do, I think what I'm going to do is give it a little spit and polish. It's pretty filthy. That's the inside. Outside's a little better. But while I got it off, I might as well give it a little clean. One other thing I wanted to mention to you guys. I ordered a new light, oil change kit, and some other little things like tie rods to replace as well. So while I'm here, stuck doing nothing at the house, I figure I might as well get some work done on it. I had ordered some plastic vinyl paint to get rid of this kind of nasty surface here. But then I realized and remembered I don't really like this style of chopped off fenders. I really like the more full fender look. So I'm going to look for those as well. I've already looked a little bit. They're not cheap, as all you guys already know. I'm learning that these plastics are pretty expensive for a hunk of plastic. But I'm going to see what's out there, see if I can find an extra fender piece here, or replace the whole unit, I should say, so that the fenders are bigger. If not, I might just go the cheap route, try sanding, priming, and painting with some plastic-friendly Krylon Fusion and see if that works. More to come. All right, wheels back on. Next up, I just had an inspiration. I should check the brake fluid. The brake fluid hasn't been opened in who knows how long. So I'm gonna try and get that off. I noticed the screws are in there pretty tight and they're slightly rusted. I don't think they're gonna come out very easily. So I'm gonna give them a little hammer and try to get them out carefully without stripping the screw heads. And to do that, I'm just gonna tap a little bit as I'm turning. A little harder. Tapping a little bit more. All right, they're loose. Now let's see how that looks. Da, 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 da. Well, it's at least low. Does this come out? Oh. Ugh, gross. Alright, I've seen worse, but definitely worth a change. So I will be replacing the fluid. Alright, that's next. I love you too,
What
buddy.
is this for?
Oh, careful, it's got yucky on it too. Please drop it. And wipe your hands on this.
Okay.
It's got yucky stuff on it. You don't want to touch it.
What is it
It's for taking brake fluid out.
How do you use it?
How do I use it?
Yeah.
You use it by, apparently the rear caliper does not get fed by the same reservoir as the front brakes do. I started bleeding the rear caliper and nothing was coming out of there, and eventually I ran out of fluid on the rear caliper. So switching to the front, I'll take care of the front calipers, bleed those, and then I'll figure out the rear calipers, the rear caliper, and why and where that fluid comes from. Maybe it's just in the master cylinder somewhere near the pedal. Alright, well that's better. Alright, that line's looking a little cleaner than that in the reservoir, so I'll switch sides now. And do the same thing on the other side. Front bleeding is done. Found this odd blue foam type stuff come out of the brake line. It was a longer kind of worm-shaped thing, about 1 inch long. Blue-looking foam. Anyone know what this is? There's more of it than this. Let me know if you guys know what this blue foam is that came out of my brake line. Now to just button it all back up and figure out the rear. Well, what's obvious to probably everyone but me on this video is the rear master has its own reservoir separate from the front. So once I popped the seat off and found that, I realized that as well. So I'm going to top that up, bleed the back again, and should be good on the brakes. I noticed the rear pad's a little low, but I'm not going to replace it just yet. I'm going to let it ride for a bit and see what other items crop up in case I want to make another order with multiple items. Back to the brakes. All right, rear is bled. Got some good fluid out of there. And plenty of fresh fluid, plenty of bubbles from me bleeding it without any fluid refills. So I know that's bled. And the brakes are done. I'm going to put everything back together and call it a day, I think, for today.